히트다 히트.
히트 시즌 2.
Welcome back, guys. We just had our friend, our lolcaster down here at SPL2016 up talking to us. You saw him quickly sprint, try to get out of the camera.
Yeah.
He failed.
No,
it's okay.
He failed utterly. Yeah. Just like Heroes build order in the last game.
Yeah, that didn't really work out. Got scouted immediately twice. It was seen by everybody. And now we got to see who CJ wants to use on Overgrowth against Curious.
Okay, so, you know, we have Hero out. What do you think? Do we have Bunny try to take him out here? Or are you going to use a ZVZ? I'd be unbelievably surprised if they tried, like, MC or Hush. I mean, they could have, like, some sort of timing attack. I don't think Hush is going to see play tonight. The guy just can't do it under pressure, and this is, like, way more pressure than his other matches. This is, like, your whole team is really, truly counting on you to win tonight.
No Hush tonight, please. Just no. Even MC, you know, that guy can have any amount of pressure on him, and he's totally fine. He's like, yeah, this is just like I'm playing on the ladder, whatever, dude. Yeah. So perhaps MC in that 4th spot, but for now, probably Biel, I'm feeling. I think
Biel? I think that's a really good choice, actually.
He likes this map. He comes on it a lot.
He's a great ZVZ player.
Yeah. Afterwards, it's Dusk Towers, which is kind of like, you know. So perhaps they want to use a Terran here? If they're thinking about the next map, you know, take this one, go into Dusk Towers.
They could. This is a hard one for CJ. This is maybe their most important pick of the night.
You know, MC, like, obviously you want to, Protoss is probably the best, like the most ideal pick for what you want to bring out on Dusk Towers. So maybe you go for MC. Hope he takes the win here.
I'm a little bit afraid of MC coming out right now against Curious. Like,
can he actually take the win? That's the scary part. That's like thinking too much about the next map. You got to think about this one first. You got to put someone in there that you're confident to win first. Yeah. And then, you know, let them deal with the second map later, because you don't want to be giving away too many wins to Curious. You already got Alive and Super behind him, so.
Yeah. Whoever. Wow, it is tough, especially because you look at, like, what Afreeca has to pick from for Dusk Towers, and when you start calculating that in, it starts to get really tough, because it's like Dusk Towers, Alive and Super are both really great on Dusk Towers and are both in very good shape right now, and that's 2 completely different races. So
yeah, it's kind of rough. Maybe you just want an all-encompassing. Maybe you throw in Biel, let him do his thing here, take the win, hopefully. Yeah, and then throw him out on Dusk Towers, see if he can take the win, but it's not too important. But at the same time, now that Hero only took one win, they need someone else to step up and take 2 wins.
Yeah, someone has to get 2 wins. It's like how you end up winning in Winners League. You can't just go 1 win, 1 win, 1 win. Or the team that won first wins.
That's the way it works, guys.
Yeah, it is.
We figured it out.
I did the math. I didn't really. I just think I did. Okay.
We got the spoiler in the lobby. It's Bunny, the Terran player.
Yeah, like it seemed pretty obvious he would be coming out tonight. I think it's an okay map for TVZ. It's not like the greatest in the whole world. The 4th base, it can be a little bit difficult for you to attack. The 4th base is so far away, like further than any other map that we have, really, and it's like less attackable than any other map. You try to attack down there as a Terran player, and you are getting hit against the wall. Like, you don't have anywhere to micro to. You can't split and run away and micro in the normal Terran ways. So that can make it a little bit tough if Curious gets into a macro game here.
Very, very true. I mean, we didn't used to see too many Terrans on this map in Heart of the Swarm. But of course, things have changed a bit. Obviously, here in Legacy of the Void, we'll see if Bunny can try to tear Curious apart. We did actually see Bunny on this map, I remember one time. I think it might have been a TVT or a TVC, but he was just like really on top of his game. His multitasking, his drops were crazy. Like to see some of that play here against Curious, because he's really going to have to outplay him here. Let's jump into game number 3 on Overgrowth right now. Down here in the bottom left, in the purple, the Zerg player, already taken 1 win. It's Curious.
His opponent clutching it out this week. He's our Terran player. It's Bunny.
hasn't had the most pristine round 3. He's 4-9. I think he actually did better last year. But
you might be right on that. He's gotten a bit more play this year. Like, CJ has gone through some weird times recently. Their roster is not like the strongest feeling it's been. I think MC was a great addition to kind of shore it up a bit, but you know, just like Bial hasn't quite been on top of it like he used to. Like, that guy was a sick killer last year, and this year it's not quite the same. But luckily for them, they have Hero and Bunny. At least this past weekend, rather, really stepped it up. You know, taking down Innovation and getting his team here, such a big deal.
Yeah, and to step it up when the pressure is on like that, when they needed that win to even get to this location, to this place in Pro League, I'm sure they're very much willing to throw him out again and say, hey, do your thing, man. We trust you for sure. Just kind of worried because Curious has been more on point. You know, Bunny had that one win, but Curious seems a bit more consistent recently. He's been really turning it up, just like all the other Afreeca Freaks players.
Well, if Curious can win here, that puts his team in such a ridiculously overpowered spot, and it's only a 2-1, but just kind of looking at the rosters and the map order coming up, it feels super Afreeca favored at that point. Whereas if Bunny takes us down, I'm not like, okay, you're dead Afreeca, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe you were right in your initial analysis that it feels maybe a little bit Afreeca favored in a way.
This map is interesting, too, because I'm looking at some of the stats. Afreeca Freaks are actually 0-6 for Terrans on this map. They're 1-2 for Zerg, so they're kind of happy that Curious took that win and they weren't deciding whether, you know, to use one of their Terrans that has not won a single map, or a game on this map, rather, or not. For CJ, they only have one win for Terran, just 1-0. So I assume that was Bunny.
Yeah, he's the Terran that's on their Pro League lineup. So
yeah,
unless it's like very old stats, I would say it probably was him taking that down.
Yeah, I think that's actually the game I was thinking about, where he just out multitasks whatever Zerg he was playing against, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. We do have the Reaper coming down and just doing a little bit of scouting, a little bit of harassment. Going as you would expect, and Curious playing this very safe style of grabbing that Overlord speed before a third base. So he's going to be able to get a lot of scouting done.
The double speed, as you like to call it. And what are we going to see here out of Bunny? He is going to start with Hellions. What is coming out of that starport? Is it going to be Banshees? He is already taking both of his gases and is mining from both with 3 workers. So really building up that gas very, very quickly.
Hellion Banshee has gained a lot of popularity lately. I've been seeing it all over the place, and a third base as well. Placed just perfectly to make it scouted as late as you possibly can. And a couple of Widow Mines popping out. I was not expecting that.
This is a very interesting build from Bunny, not something we see all the time. Okay, it's going to be Medevac first. And
that's very interesting, because the Overlord comes in and you see the tech lab and you're like, well, that's Banshees.
Right at that timing, right? You're like, I need to expect Banshees here, but in fact 2 Widow Mines are going to go into your base, but at the same time you're going to be making spores to deal with the Banshees, right? So you're going to have the detection, at least, for the Widow Mines?
That is true. You're definitely not going to expect 4 Widow Mines coming out in a drop, though. Huh. This is very mind-gamey.
Yeah. Even down to the third base, that's right outside the scouting range of where every Zerg puts their Overlord at the natural.
Wow, this is very interesting stuff. A scan does go off and checks what's going on in that natural. I guess we're just going to watch this medevac. But the third base is being taken by Curious, getting a couple evolution chambers, so going to be ahead on those upgrades. But he needs to make sure he's not losing too much to this 4 Widow Mine drop.
This is great, too. Bunny actually has control of both watchtowers, or he just did. He moved out from the one that's closer to him. So this is going to go undetected for a very long time. And he's distracting at the front with the Hellions. When the Overlord went in there as well, he's like, oh, this is Hellion Banshee, because he sees the reactor on the factory. So he's probably expecting a bunch of Hellions, too.
Absolutely. Like, all of his queens are over there, which means that only 1 queen is not going to deal with 4 Widow Mines very well.
Now look at this. 2 Widow Mines in the main. Not going to get the best hits. Going to try to reburrow this one.
It's not really doing that well yet.
Yeah, is he even going to burrow or drop out the other two? It looks like no. He's just going to pick up one, save that guy, and try to get out of there.
Hey, it was a good try, and it was a very good mind game because, as you were saying, he really thought there was going to be a lot of Hellions. All of his queens are out of position, which kind of gives that medevac a little while to try to find some damage. He doesn't get that damage, but Bunny definitely coming well prepared for the map. And taking a look at where we're at, gotta say, I love Curious's position. He's already getting his layer. It's going to be finishing up. He's getting a macro hatch.
Even so quickly, up to 65. Interesting hits here. It looks like that Widowmine actually got 12 kills.
Wow.
On Lings coming through the Watchtower here. And he's actually going to go Spire here. He's going to just go Ling, Bane, Muta.
Yeah, and this is not something that you see very often right now, but he did that very quick macro hatch, which will make up for the larva differential that we see between Heart of the Storm and Legacy of the Void. But, this is... I definitely wasn't expecting to see a game that looks like this, but Curious is good with this style. His creep spread is looking strong, and he's taking that fourth base that's very difficult for a Terran to actually go down and kill.
Especially when there's mutas on the map. Controlling the map, shutting down drops here and there. And we already see Bunny moving out, trying to punish this. But as you said, this is really, really far away for the Terran to walk all the way over there.
Yeah.
It gives Curious a ton of time. Does he see this coming, though? He's going to see it now, and he needs to get those units over there to defend. The
Queen's already going to town right now on the medevac. Very great job on that, getting it quite low. And look, he's microing as best he can down here, but don't forget, this is not a lot of room. If you have a big plume of Lings come out, you're absolutely crushing this.
He needs that big plume of Lings, though, and where is it? This is a lot of Marines still coming over here trying to cancel this base, and here come the Banelings. No speed. It's going to be close, but he does get that hatch.
Yeah, forces that cancel. Very well done, and one of the medevacs is going to get out with 6 Marines. Probably just going to have to chill there for a little bit. Well, mutas are going to be out, so he's going to be able to clean that up as well. But hey, you know what? He canceled the fourth base. That's super important in the matchup always.
Yeah, and that was nearing completion too. So it's not like it was a newly made fort that he just remakes right away. Very annoying here for Curious.
And Bunny isn't missing a beat at home, to be honest. He's got his third base up. He's got depot walls all over the place so that Ling counterattacks are not going to be so effective. He's on the right type of tech here. 2-2 already on the way, despite the fact he started his upgrades a little bit later. And this is...
Yeah. Curious seems to be slipping a little bit in this macro. He has 136 of 200. He made so many Overlords really early on.
Ooh. Good hit right there.
Yeah, really nice hit. And he's also missing the upgrades here, you know? So it's kind of like nothing's really smooth, you know? I understand that he wanted to make some Overlords because some of them were being sniped by the one Viking that was going around, but he really overmade them very early, and it's going to cut down on this muta count here in the start, and still no upgrades.
Yeah, that's really getting a little bit worrisome. You can't fight with Mutiling Bane down 2 upgrades on 2-2 versus 1-1. That's like a terrible spot.
Yeah.
We see what has happened to Zergs for years when they're fighting 2-2 against 3-3, but this is like much earlier, and it's going to last a lot longer because of that. So kind of tough for Curious, but he's just making units right now, and if he can crush even one army, that's going to change everything.
Yeah, an interesting idea, you know, as you were saying, just making only units, and here he comes forward, trying to get this around there in the Widowmine. An okay hit. Where are the Banelings? He's got 22. Okay. That's a lot of Banelings. They're back here, and he's just hiding them from Bunny for now.
Can he get some connections here with those Banelings? Does roll some of them in and actually deals with the Widowmines all rightly, but that is still a huge amount of bio coming in. A good amount of medevacs as well healing up, and here we go. Curious running in right now. So many Banelings rolling in and getting some pretty decent connections. It looks like he does have enough.
Just barely. Great splits from Bunny, but not enough. There was just way too much stuff there from Curious, and you said it. I mean, he was focused on only making units here. And now look at this. Medevacs going down one by one. There's so many mutas in the sky. And this was all, as you said, just to shut down this one attack 100%, and at the same time, he's transitioning it to hive really early.
Yeah, this is a huge deal right now for Curious. He's done a great job killing that off. He does have his 4 bases up and running, and you know, he has this kind of like just unit lead. There's not really any way that Bunny can get over there and kill him right now. He's going to have to kind of like play a longer game, make his upgrades count, and whittle Curious down over time. But with the Hive already halfway done, things are going to get very scary.
That scan confirms it too, and Bunny's not going to be too happy about that one. He's getting the shivers in that booth. He's like, uh-oh, Curious is getting to me here. And even the mutas in the base, sniping, medevacs, widow mines, anything they can find. He's putting so much pressure and keeping Bunny all the way back while he gets this Hive.
You know, I gotta say, by the way, thank you to Curious for going Mutiling Bane, because I forgot how fun it is.
Oh yeah, dude.
Totally awesome. And look at these mutas coming in. Great harassment. Get a couple medevacs, one of which was full during this, picking off units as well. Bunny in a lot of trouble. Curious on top of everything.
Bunny just taking way too many losses at this point. I feel like Curious could take a fifth, and he does that right now. Kind of curious that he doesn't take the gold here, but just going to have one base all the way over here on the left and another all the way on the right that is mining. Just going to keep it separated. Now Bunny's trying to float to the fourth. That's not going to work. Not with his mutas. It's at least going to take a lot of damage.
A lot of Banelings coming into the third base right now, and they're going to roll right through a hole in the wall, killing quite a few SCVs, making everything run away as well, killing some Marines off. Pretty good job there, but, oh god, he actually lost a big clump of mutas during that, didn't he?
Yeah, it seemed like he overcommitted just a bit trying to kill that orbital. It would have been a great move, but Bunny was on top of that with the repair. And
wow. Wow.
Okay.
Well, this is how you play when you only got 1-1, right?
It's such an interesting style, you know? I feel like he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah,
right?
I think you're right. When he lost the fourth base, this is something that True, the master of Ling Bane, has done a lot. If he gets behind, he's like, screw upgrades, just more Banelings.
He just makes so many Banelings, and also the Hive. He gets the Ultralisk Cavern, but also the Adrenal Glands, which is going to be really nice for the huge amount of Lings that he's already made with the macro hatch as well. So everything's really falling into place here for Curious.
It is indeed. Now, as 3-3 is finishing up for Bunny, if he can hold on somehow, 4 upgrade advantage is almost unbeatable. Like, you have to get Baneling connection. So we'll see if he makes it into that stage of the game. But the mutas right now picking off a lot of medevacs. Very sloppy play there by Bunny.
Not even the medevacs. 20 SCVs were running out in the middle of the map doing nothing. They were running away from the base that was being backdoored here by Curious. And now he's forced the third to lift. The fourth only now is mining. And you can see how fast those Lings do get shredded when they are down this many upgrades. So that's the scary part for Curious.
It really is. Like, Ultras are coming, but the Ultras aren't even really going to do that well. Chitinous Blading, of course, will help quite a bit, but 3-3 is almost done here. That +3 armor about to finish. So Curious has to keep him busy. He has to continue to do damage as well, because Bunny's upgrades are madness right now.
Yeah, they really are. Is Bunny ever going to get a chance to move out, though? These mutas are still being so annoying, and it looks like Bunny may have just had enough. He's got some units back at home, actually, sniping a bunch of these mutas. But can he actually push onto Curious? That's the question.
Well, he's got to stabilize, I think, for a little bit longer. Curious is making that quite hard, sending Lings up towards his third base now. There's nothing there but SCVs, so just has to run once again. That is a big bruise to the economy, even if he doesn't lose a single SCV.
So we got 56 Banelings on the map right now for Curious. He's also got 50 Lings, and the 6 Ultras are about to be out as well. So
that's a scary army. How many Widow Mines do we have, actually? Not many, right?
5,
2 Liberators.
Could be more, you know?
Yeah.
It's not a super small amount, but you would definitely like more against this many Banelings. You need a lot of AoE.
His medevacs are out of energy. All these units are yellow and orange. That's a big, big deal.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the upgrades are basically nil and void at this point. And here we go.
Curious going to slaughter through this. No question about that. Bunny's splitting as best he can, but everything is already so badly hurt. Bunny has lost way too much in this game.
The Ultras weren't even really fighting in that fight, so you can tell just how far ahead Curious is at this point. Big drop into the main, but that's all that Bunny's got left. In that one medevac. Can he save it? It looks like he will. It's just not going to matter at this point.
Yeah, this is just about game. Bunny was just not strong enough here, and what I'm seriously getting chills again. I'm sorry I keep saying that, but this is like a great night of StarCraft.
Yeah.
And the fact that Curious has used a strategy that we literally only see True use and uses such great effect, right? Like, he loses at 4th base, it gets canceled. He's in kind of a tough spot, skips upgrades for a long time, and just crushes armies for a bit. Great play here by Curious.
Such a smart player, you know. Everybody else may have just been going through the motions. And we have been seeing a little bit more of this Ling Bane meta style very recently, like in the last week or so. I'm sure you watched some of those games from last week's Pro League, but it was like, Curious really bringing the style into his own and really just reading the situation really well here.
Yeah, very well done by Curious. And this guy truly is the savior of Afreeca Freaks. Like, he won 2 games the other night to get them in. And here he is. This is 2 wins in a row, like against Hero and Bunny now.
Yeah, 2 very big wins. Bunny just sticking in this one for as long as possible. I suppose this is CJ's strat here for the all-kill format, is just, even if you're down, if you're out, it doesn't matter. Just keep playing until you actually die.
Curious is going to be so tired after he all-kills us. That's some good micro. But obviously, Curious just has too much. This is like, it doesn't matter if he loses all these.
Oh boy!
If he could have hit X on not only the Banes but the Ultras, he'd still win.
That's it. He's given up. He's tapped out. Curious takes another life here at Pro League. It is 2-1 now. Curious up, and the Afreeca Freaks also up.
Okay. Here we are. This is where it gets really weird, right? Because Curious with those 2 wins, we're going on to Dusk Towers. You know, the main Protoss player Hero already eliminated. Their only Terran player, Bunny, gone. Ooh. Dusk Towers, are we... Oh, wow, Bunny's crushed. He is very unhappy with this.
I would feel crushed too, man.
Yeah.
You're just not expecting that many units when you go for that attack. You cancel the 4th base, you're feeling so good.
Yeah.
You walk up the ramp and you're like, wait, why does he have so much stuff?
Yeah.
What is happening? And then he just loses the majority of his army, and he's so far behind from there. And he's getting constantly ran by, and you know, he scans and a hive is going down while he's being harassed in 2 locations. Imagine how that feels. He feels crushed, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, he definitely was crushed as well. So this is a tough one for CJ. Who are you fielding on Dusk Towers? Take into consideration Frost is the next map, so you're going to want that player to do well.
I think it's got to be MC. I mean,
MC?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's not a bad choice. The one thing I'm very fearful of, if they use MC here, I think 100% on Frost, we're going to see a live pop out. And
that's a really
that's going to be
point,
really tough for MC to take out a player like Alive there.
It's just going to be up to Biel to come in at the end and clean it up on Frozen Temple and then New Gettysburg, which are both not bad Zerg maps.
That's true.
It kind of, I feel like this is basically their only choice, actually. You know, because
I don't think
you send Biel here on Dusk Towers.
What do you think about using Ragnarok tonight? I love Ragnarok's play recently. I think he's gotten a lot better. Like, he had his match yesterday in GSL Codas, and he didn't make it out of his group, but I thought he played some great games. Like, he was playing very well.
Do you want to use Ragnarok, though, over MC? And have like 2 Zergs left going into Dusk Towers? I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
It depends really on who they feel more comfortable using at this point. You know,
I think you're right that they probably will use MC. Like, I mean, also, if you're not using MC in this pressure situation,
he's a super veteran, right? Yeah. He's like, he's already got a pension plan like all lined up. He's already like he's doing overtime here basically.
He's come out of retirement. He's basically a Walmart door greeter.
Pretty much.
Yeah. He got lonely on the ladder, killing everyone living in his own house. So I wouldn't mind seeing him. I mean, he's going to put out the best games he can. He is not going to fold under pressure. He will deliver.
Yeah.
So I think it's not that bad. Guys, make sure you tweet with these hashtags, I guess.
I think after the first game that Hero won, it was something like 85 to 15% in CJ's favor, and now it's going the opposite way.
Bunch of fair weather fans out there, man.
Yeah, what's going on, guys?